In this episode, we share the stressful process of taking the boat through a shallow channel between reefs where the depths are not charted. We also share with you the world sailing route planning options for when the Portofino 52 is finished, plus the new update of the Red Sea bombings right where we need to sail through. Join us as we discover the real home of Santa Claus in Turkey, not at the North Pole, and the almost hidden paradise of Olu Dennis with our Patreons. We are John and Ali, the Barefoot Doctors, sailing and travelling around the globe. Join us as we share the adventure and explore the beauty of the world, because life is better barefoot. Okay guys, so while we're in front of this beautiful map of the world, we'd like to show you where our boat's being built, the Portofino 52.
Okay, so the boat is being built in Dubai, which is here, which is at the top of Africa in the Gulf states. Now, if you notice, this is the Mediterranean up here, the Suez Canal is there, the Red Sea is there, and then this is the Indian Ocean, and Dubai is up here in the Persian Gulf. So it's around that point of land up there. So when we get the boat completed, we're going to have to sail the boat out of there and go somewhere. So the choices are either to go up through the Red Sea to the Med, to go south and across this way towards Australia and the Southeast Asian countries. But we obviously, our intention is to see the Caribbean properly down there. So we don't want to go back to Australia because we'd be there much too quickly, especially in a fast boat like a Portofino 52. The Maldives is somewhere I've always wanted to go to. So we are planning to head south from Dubai and go to the Maldives and catch the rally in the Maldives. Then we're going to sail to the Seychelles here for about a month and then sail north to try and catch the favourable winds to go up the Red Sea to get to the Mediterranean by late April or early May. So that is the plan. So that's a very exciting plan.
And of course, life is such that things do often change. About a month ago, the Houthis in Yemen started bombing the shipping going through the Red Sea. So having had a few years of safe sailing through the Red Sea to get up to the Med, it is now again a big problem area. And the problem isn't just in relation to getting through the Red Sea and getting to the Med, it is also in the supply of goods. Because now goods going through that area are being delayed because they have to go all the way around the bottom of Africa. This creates both delays and increased costs. And for getting supplies to Dubai, this is a significant concern. And for all of these reasons, we do hope that the Yemen problem is solved in the next few months. Despite this problem in the Red Sea, Portofino has successfully got the 6 Yanmar engines for the first 3 boats, which is very exciting. The Portofino 47 will have 56 horsepower Yanmars, and the 52s will have 80 horsepower Yanmars. One subscriber did question why we needed 80 horsepower engines in a performance boat, and 56 horsepower engines would have done the job. However, the weight difference between the 2 engines is only 28 kilograms, so having the extra power available on the 52 has 2 benefits. One is you can escape out of very bad seas if you're having to motor off a lee shore in a big storm, but also the engine is working at slightly lower revs, so under less strain while cruising longer distances. We have definitely chosen the Yanmars because of their greater efficiency and less emissions compared to many other older brands. And the welding work is progressing nicely, with the waterline length being increased by sections on the rear of the hull. We will be back in Dubai very shortly to have an on-site walkthrough of the 52, which is now having its hulls joined together. This week we sail with our Patreons from Göcek Bay across the Fethiye Bay towards Santa Claus Island and Olu Dennis. They are all getting quite experienced on the systems of the Leopard 45 now. We move into more advanced techniques and they get to do more and more stuff themselves. This is another day of very gentle winds of about 7 to 10 knots, and we sail through the islands of Göcek Bay and out into the open water. As we sail through these narrow passes, we only have the mainsail up because the wind is usually very fluky and the Genoa is likely to just flog and be a nuisance. Once out into open water, the Genoa comes out and we have a very easy sail across the bay, taking turns to look after the boat. Ellie gets her daily dose of vitamin D before covering up again to prevent skin damage.
Okay folks, So let's see a live action replay of this dramatic event, showing a hole in the top of my hat, which is an unfortunate result of a dinghy accident when my hat got blown off into the water. In our haste to get back to it before it sunk, it got torn apart by the props of the dinghy. Clearly, man overboard procedures in the dinghy needs to be practiced a little more often, don't they, John? Okay, folks, well, we are on our way to Ollie Dennis, which is a really nice anchorage. Apparently it's about 5 miles as far as the crow flies. But it's about 15 nautical miles that we've travelled today. So there's a few islands that we have to watch out for, a few dodgy things.
Okay, so what we're doing is this is a bay where you can see some of those boats anchored, but between us and the bay are these rocks in the reef that comes out. Apparently there's a 10-meter channel between this reef and that island, so I'm gonna have Elizabeth on the bow watching for rocks, and we're gonna go in a little bit slowly, and we will see if we can hopefully find the channel, which isn't marked on the electronic chart at all actually, but in the pilot chart there's a 10-meter deep channel all the way into the bay.
We're looking for the channel. It's not marked on anything, which is a bit of a concern. Sailing through uncharted waters, we often feel as though we have our hearts in our throats, where any wrong move could result in a catastrophic outcome. There's a lighter blue patch there. And we approach it with extreme caution, and I feel the weight of the world on my shoulders as I'm the one supposed to be looking, recognising the rocks and the safest way forward. Well, I think we got to either go that way or that way. Maybe that way. It's quite shallow here. I don't know, I think maybe that way would have been better. John is only relying on instruments and what I tell him from what I see at the bow. 10 metres. I look to see whether the darker water, which normally means deeper water and safety, but sometimes can also be dark, perilous rocks that we could very well be sailing right into to a treacherous reef, just below the surface, as we see right here. We thread our way slowly and cautiously through the channel, ready at any given moment to throw the boat hard astern if it looks like we're about to crash. Okay, 14 metres. Okay, it looks a bit darker over here. This is darker here. And as we see the depth increasing and the channel widening into open water, we can finally start to breathe and realise that we've made it through. Okay, so I think the scary part's over. We've got here in the bay 2 pirate ships, 3 pirate ships actually.
Oh, okay, well, we'll connect to your mooring buoys then.
Oh, good idea.
Okay. So we moved up as recommended by the guy who's working for the restaurant here, but he's just wanted to loop the mooring line through their buoy and up to the 2 bows. Now the trouble is it's not fixed in the middle, so the boat can slide side to side, and it's also pulling on the bowsprit line there. So, and if it pulls the other way, it pulls on the other one, so it's really not very good. That will both cause potential damage to the stainless wire, but also to our ropes. And so guys, this brings up a really important point that seems to be happening to me over and over again. This is where you're approaching a marina or mooring buoy and you are directed by the authorities in that place to tie up in a certain way. The important thing to be aware of here is that you as captain are 100% responsible for what happens to your boat. So even if you are directed by the authorities in that place, do not do it unless you are happy. Any costs or liabilities will be up to you or your insurance, and we know how unreliable that may be. If you tie up to a buoy without fixing the central point, the boat will sail sideways one way or the other, and at both points, the buoy and the metal attachments will ding your boat and scratch it mercilessly all night. So you can jump into the water and tie bowlines to the buoy back to each bow, but we have this lovely device that allows us to pull ropes through a hook at the top of the mooring buoy and lead back to our bows. This allows us to release the ropes when we're ready to go without any hassle or needing to get down low into the water. We pull pull the mooring rope through the hook and up to the port bow first, and then do the same procedure on the other side and tie off the ropes to the cleats on the hull. I find the easiest way is to make these ropes short to avoid the boat sailing forwards or sideways, so even at full stretch the buoy cannot hit either hull. When we leave, we just undo the cleats on the bow and pull the ropes through. All very easy. And this also avoids annoying rattling of the buoy hitting the hull through the night.
Nestled amongst the captivating ruins of Gamala Island in Turkey lies a significant piece of history dating back to the 4th century. This enchanting locale was once the home of beloved Saint Nicholas, fondly known as Santa Claus. Revered for his altruism and compassion, St. Nicholas gained renown for his acts of kindness, particularly his tradition of secretly gifting gold coins to the less fortunate by placing them in shoes left outside people's homes. This heartwarming gesture became the cornerstone of Santa Claus legend, perpetuating his legacy of generosity and spreading joy across the generations.
And then you look along the wall, and it's really very plumb. Very straight walls, very clever.
Yeah.
And those are also good symmetrical arches, aren't they?
Yeah.
A covered walkway, I think, for the monks to keep out of the heat. This is an entry, and it goes from one top of the mountain all the way along the island to the other end of the island, just to have a nice walkway so they were protected from the weather, whether it be extreme weather in the summer of heat or extreme coldness and snow in the winter. This goes on for miles. We're going to fall onto someone's head, but hopefully just onto the ground with nobody else there. Look at that, very dicky roof almost. So there are the hang gliders or the paragliders, jumping off the top of the mountain, which is 1900 meters high, and they fly ziggy-zaggy all the way down to Oludenis, which is at the bottom of the water behind this little spit of land. Pretty impressive.
Losing your britches.
Oh, it's lovely.
Okay, so Chilla's in the middle.
Yeah.
So now I want you to just play with the spinning.
Could I spin to that?
Whichever way you like. So the simplest way to think about it without having to think which one goes forward. If you do this, you're going to go that way.
Yeah.
If you do that, you go that way. Okay.
Yeah. Like driving a tank as well.
So when you're going forward and reverse, I mean, if you're wanting to stay in the same spot, you've got to kind of keep the revs of both engines the same, even though they're in different directions. So
okay.
Give it a go. Put one in forward, one in the reverse, and try to give it a, now you're not really moving because you haven't got enough revs. So now increase the revs. Now that's it. Okay, so now that's good revs.
Yeah.
You're moving, and if you just fix on a point in the water, you can see whether you're going forward or backwards. You're probably going,
Yeah,
you're not going anywhere. So that's good. You're doing a nice turn.
Now you're going a little bit forwards, I think. But you're doing a nice turn. And then if you do want to go forwards while you're turning, obviously just less revs here and more revs there.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So now you're going forwards. So, but you want to go spin the other way? Just
So I need to go
okay,
now
so
to the other side.
go the other way, yeah. Obviously a little bit harder out here to check whether you're going forward or back. But when you're in a marina, you can actually tell because you're going to be watching the bow, the stern, how it's related to, so you don't crash.
Yeah. So I just want to check one thing. If we stop and see.
Hang on, there you go. Now you're into neutral. Yeah.
So how much? It doesn't move too much after you use.
No, it doesn't. Stop before we stop. I want you to go backwards.
Okay.
So pretend you're going into marina.
Yeah.
And just come here, and then go into gear. Come and stand here.
Yeah.
Go into gear with both engines and watch where you're going. And I want you to see what direction you're going in.
Yeah. So.
And then if you want to go more to that way, you either increase the power on this engine, starboard engine, or you reduce the power on that one. So if you want to, go faster with a port, and you'll see us turning that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I can increase this one.
And then it'll level out again, and you'll go straight again. And if you want to, as you're going backwards, if you want to change quickly, you can put this one in forward, and that'll see how quickly that boat spins.
Yeah. Then it spins a lot. Okay,
so let's
perfect.
go.
Welcome to Oludenes, a picturesque paradise. Here, where the Aegean Sea meets the Mediterranean, nature has painted a masterpiece of breathtaking beauty. At the heart of Oludenes lies the legendary Blue Lagoon, a natural wonder of unparalleled beauty, sheltered by rugged cliffs and adored with vibrant flora. This tranquil oasis invites visitors to immerse themselves in its mesmerising water and revel in the tranquility of its surroundings. But Oludenes isn't just a paradise for relaxation, it's also a playground for thrill seekers. From paragliding off the towering cliffs of Barefoot Mountain to exploring hidden coves and sea caves on a boat tour, the possibilities for adventure are endless. As you enjoy your delicious meal from the selection of Turkish and international restaurants, it's mesmerising to see sometimes hundreds of paragliders in the air at one time, leaping off nearby mountains. With each landing, you find yourself pausing to marvel at their adventure and bravery, and at times also having to run or jump out of their way as they're landing. So we are at the moment swimming in the gorgeous lagoon of Oludenes. All the beach clubs are behind us, and the lagoon it skirts all around the outside of this point, but it's absolutely gorgeous. And years ago, you were allowed to bring your boat in here, but no motorboats anymore because of the pollution, because it is a lagoon. But those chairs there, we hired one for 400 lira. Yeah, it's not a great deal, but get an umbrella and you get 2 beds. Have a look at the beautiful spot that it is. You can see in the background a couple of our new recruits. As the sun sets on another day in paradise, you reflect on the beauty and excitement that surrounds you. Oludenes offers an unforgettable experience that captivates the senses and leaves you longing for more. Thanks for joining us on this journey, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you want to be a part of an exciting way to save lives around the world, join our Patreon family and get up close and personal with us. And we'll see you in the next episode.